Recording in progress.
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. So we are discussing from Canto 2. We are on chapter 4. So in the beginning of the 4th chapter, the sages of Naimisharanya, they asked Sut Goswami, please tell us more. What was discussed between Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj? Because whenever the devotees, whenever the eager audience is there and the speaker is bona fide, so there should be wonderful Harikatha. So please describe in great detail. So then Sut Goswami continues the story. What happened? Parikshit Maharaj asks that please describe. You are the supreme, you have all the knowledge. You are नूनम भगवतो ब्रह्मन् हरेर अद्भुत कर्मणः दुर्विभाव्यमिवा भाति कविभिश्चापि चेष्टितम्. O learned Brahmana, please explain the wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord, which are inconceivable. Even great personalities, kavibhishchapi vicheshtitam, even great people, great learned scholars cannot understand how Lord acts in the world. And then he asks how Karano Dakshaya Vishnu agitates and maintains the gunas, ninth verse. So during Sarga, how Karano Dakshaya Vishnu agitates the modes, and during Visarga, how he does it through Gunavataras. Or all these things happen simultaneously or in sequence, kaise hota hai wo sab bataiye. So then we discussed till in 10th verse. So Shukdev Goswami may ask that, well, you have said that these things are very difficult to understand, then why are you asking me? Vichikitsatam me pravitu bhagwan yatha. Kindly clear up all our inquiries, because you are great devotee and you are as good as Supreme Lord. Shabde Brahmani Nishnataha. You are expert not only in Vedic literature, but you have realized that knowledge also. It is not just theoretical knowledge for you. It is realized knowledge for you. Okay, so we'll continue from the 11th verse. Now, Suta Goswami is speaking. Suta uvacha ityum upamantrito ragya gunanukathane hare rishikesham anusmritya prativaktum prachakrame.
Suta Goswami said, when Sukadeva Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead, he then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly, he spoke thus.
Iti upamantrito, thus being requested by Raja, by the Parikshit Maharaj, Gunanukathane Hare. Parikshit Maharaj requested, please describe the attributes of the Lord. Guna ka varnan kariye, Gunanukathane Hare. Rishikesham. So now Shukdev Goswami systematically remembered the Supreme Lord. So this is very, very interesting thing which is happening. So in the beginning of any katha, Mangalacharan should happen, right? But Parikshit Maharaj asked question where, when? First canto end में question पूछा. Shukdev Goswami didn't do Mangalacharan. Direct class चालू कर दिए. So after speaking 3 chapters, he realized Mangalacharan तो बोला ही नहीं. So now in this chapter he'll do detailed Mangalacharan. He'll offer beautiful prayers of Mangalacharan. Shukdev Goswami. So Rishikesham Anusmritya. So Prabhupada writes, the devotees of the Lord, while delivering speeches and describing the transcendental attributes, do not think that they can do anything independently. Because Krishna is there in everyone's heart, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matta Smriti Jnana Pohanam. So Krishna, he gives the intelligence. Whenever somebody is speaking, whenever somebody is giving class, they should always understand and remember this thing. This is only by the mercy of the Lord, only by the will of the Lord, I am able to speak this. Otherwise, what is my strength? That's why we offer prayers to Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. So these 4 personalities, they are very, very important. Narayanam, Narayan Rishis, and Saraswati, Vyasa, and what one? Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva. Narayan, they are 2. And Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. So Vyasadev, Saraswati, Nar and Narayan. Because Narayan, why specifically Narayan Rishis? Of all the avatars, why Narayan is mentioned, is glorified and Mangalacharan? Anybody's idea? Because Bhumandal में we are जम्बू द्वीप है. जम्बू द्वीप में we are in भारतवर्ष. भारतवर्ष में भारत खंड, भूखंड. We'll discuss in 5th canto जब पहुंचेंगे तब डिस्कस करेंगे. तो भारतवर्ष में our पृथ्वी is called as भारत खंडे. जम्बू द्वीपे भारतवर्षे भूखंडे. So this Bharatvarsha, predominating deity of Bharatvarsha is Naranaran. So therefore Naranaran Rishis are offered prayers. Prabhupada writes, they think that they can speak only what they are induced to speak by the Lord. The senses of individual beings are not his own. Devotee knows that. Such senses belong to Supreme Lord and they can be used only, they can be properly used when they are employed for the service of the Lord. So that is the main understanding. So whenever we are speaking any katha, we should always remember this, offer prayers. And we see in every literature, even Kaviraj Goswami is expressing his humble disposition. ए ग्रंथ लिखाए मोरे मदन मोहन आमारा लिखन ए शुकेर पठन. Madan Mohan is making me write this literature. I am just like a shuka, parrot, copying. आमी लिखी हम मिथ्या कोरी अनुमान आमारा शरीर काष्ठ पुतली समान. Oh, it is my arrogance if I'll say that ये मैं लिख रहा हूँ. My body is just like a puppet. And Madan Mohan is making me write. Because who am I? I am old. I cannot see anything. I cannot hear anything. Vriddha jara turami andha badhir hastahale mano buddhi nahi morasthir. My hands are trembling. I cannot remember. Still I am writing. It is all mercy of Madan Mohan and all the Vaishnavas. He gives a list of all the devotees. Sri Govinda, Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Sri Advaita, Sri Advaita, Sri Bhakta Vrinda. All the devotees, starting from Govinda Dev. Govinda Dev is the Supreme Lord. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, then Advaitacharya, and then Sri Rupa, Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunath. All these devotees, he is taking names, and then he says, by instructions of all these people, I am writing this. So that's how it is a duty of every devotee while speaking. He should always acknowledge that this is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes, no one is free to act freely and independently. And as such, one should always seek permission of the Lord to act or eat or speak. To eat also we should seek permission. That's why we offer prayers, Mahaprasada prayers. And by the blessing of the Lord, everything done by our devotees beyond the principles of four defects. So that's his understanding. Therefore, Prabhupada also writes in his Markine Bhagavatam, Nachao, Nachao, Prabhu, Nachao se mate. Kashtera Putaliyatta Nachao se mate. So make me dance. So then from 12th verse onwards, Shukdeva Goswami offers prayers to the Supreme Lord. Shri Shuka Uvacha Namah Parasmai Purushaya Bhujase Sadudbhavasthana Nirodha Leelaya
तद्भुवस्थान निरोध लीलया
Shakti Tritiyaya Dehinam
गृहीत शक्ति तृतीयाय देहिना
Palakshya Vartmane.
अंतर्भुवाय लक्ष्य
This Goswami said, let me offer the respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who for the creation of the material world accept the three modes of nature. He is complete with the complete whole residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable.
Okay. So Namah Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Purushaya, that Supreme Lord, who is complete Supreme Personality of God. And Sad Udbhava Sthana Nirodha Leela. By his pastime, he creates this world. Udbhava means creation. Sthana means maintenance. And Nirodha means annihilation. That is the pastime of the Supreme Lord. And for this, what he does? Grihita Shakti Tritiyaya Dehinam. He takes the three modes of nature. Antar Bhavaya Nupalakshya Vartmane. And Antar Bhava. He is the Paramatma who is there in everyone's heart. Anupalakshya Vartmane. Nobody can understand how he is acting. It is inconceivable. So his ways are inconceivable. Anupalakshya Vartmane. How Lord acts, it is inconceivable. Even great, powerful poets and thinkers, they get confused. How Lord is acting in this way? It's like when Uddhava, he is asked by Vidurji about Krishna. He says, Kalat manoyat pramadayutashra swatman rate khidyati dhir vidamiha. The great personalities, they also get bewildered how Lord is acting in this world. He has nothing to do, still he is working. He is fear personified, fears him, and he is running out of fear of Kalayavan and Jarasandha, and he is taking shelter in the middle of the ocean of a fort. He is Atmaram, but he marries 16,000 queens. All these are inconceivable. So how Lord is acting, it is a very, very confusing thing. Nobody can understand how Lord acts. So that is the understanding. That's what Shukdeva Goswami begins. Antar Bhavaya Anupalakshya Vartmane. It is a very, very difficult thing to understand how Lord acts in this world. And that's the same thing which we heard in the 9th chapter of the first canto, where Bhishma Dev, he tells, Yatra Dharma Suto Raja Gadapani Vrikodara Krishno Sri Gandivam Chapam Surit Krishna Tato Vipat. You had the best of the power, best of the skills in the form of Arjuna, best of the power in the form of Bhima, and best of the morality in the form of Yudhishthir. And on top of all that, who was there? Who is there with them? Krishna. Still Tato Vipat. Why this is happening? Nobody can understand. This is only Kala. And what is this Kala? This Kal is the same personality who is standing in front of you. Eshvai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayan Puman Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudas Charati Vrishnishu. He is bewildering everyone. Don't think he is your maternal cousin. आपको लग रहा है आपके चचेरे भाई हैं, इनमस्य मन्य से मातुलेयम सूरिन मित्रम प्रियतमम अकरोत सचिवम दूतम सौरिदात तसारथी, ये सब बन रहे हैं आपके लिए, लेकिन ये वो नहीं है. वो he is a supreme lord. Nobody can understand how he acts. So that is what he is saying. Anupalaksha vartamane. So Prabhupada in the purport he describes how Lord accepts the three modes and acts in different guna avatars, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And then he says the Purusha avatars are there for his plenary portion. What is the meaning of plenary portion? ये 1000 बार सुने होंगे ना हम लोग.
कोई एक क्वेश्चन अभी तक मैं किसी ने ठीक से नहीं बोला.
अरे हमने डिस्कस किया था ये पहले भी.
क्या था ये याद नहीं.
तो किसी ने नहीं बताया मत बोले. प्लेनरी, you know, ये पार्लियामेंट भी एक होता है प्लेनरी मीटिंग. प्लेनरी मीटिंग मतलब क्या है? when all the members are present. So plenary portion means the all the power of Supreme Lord is there in this avatar also, but still he is a portion. That is called as plenary portion. That is how Vishnu avatars are. They are same but still different. That is why they are called as plenary portion. And then portion of the plenary portion. So plenary portion के जो अवतार हैं, they are called as portions of the plenary portions. So that is the understanding of all the Vishnu avatars.
Plenary portion.
Krishna, उसके उनके first बलराम से first चतुर्व्यूह comes. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. They are all plenary portions. And then second Chaturvyuha comes from Sankarshan.
Yes.
They are the portions of the plenary portions. So that's how it continues. Avatara hi asankhya hare sattva nidhe dvija. Asankhya avatar hai. Yatha vidasena kulya tarasasyu sahasrasa. Jitne waves hain utne avatar hain. Okay. So then he continues. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that Shukadeva Goswami is offering his prayers in 13 verses, from 12 verse onward. 13 verses describe the Mangalacharan prayers. First, he speaks of the power of Krishna. What is the power of Krishna? Unlimited power. Purushaya Bhuyase. The Supreme Lord has unlimited power. And then he describes the pastime of the first Purusha avatar. Pehle Purusha avatar kaun hai? What is the first Purusha avatar?
Vishnu.
Karanadaksha Vishnu, Mahavishnu. So the first Purusha avatar, his pastimes are being described here. Sthana, Udbhava, Sthana, Nirodha. Creation, maintenance and destruction. And then he describes the second and third Purusha avatars also. What is the second one? Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So Garbhodaksha Vishnu kaun hai? He is the Antaryami of the entire universe. And Shirodaksha Vishnu? Antaryami of every living entity. So he is describing all these three Purusha avatars in this first verse. Okay, next verse. Prabhupada writes, because the empiric philosophers and mystic yogis cannot conceive of the personality of Godhead, he is called as Anupalaksha, inconceivable. Just like Kunti Maharani is praying. Kunti Maharani कौन सा प्रार्थना करते हैं जिसमें बोलते हैं you are not seen by everyone. You are covered by a veil of Maya. Maya जवनी का
छिन्न.
डिटेल में हिंट देना पड़ता है तब जाके होता है. तो फिर भी याद आता है तो अच्छा है. माया जवनी का छन्नम. आगे न लक्ष्य से मूढ़ दृशा नटो नाट्य धरो यथा. So nobody can understand. Okay, then he describes, after describing the power of the Lord, now in 13th verse he describes the sweetness of the Lord. Bhuyo namat sadbrijan chide satam. Bhuyo namat sadbrijan chide satam. Asambhavaya khila sattva murtaye.
Asambhavaya khila sattva murtaye.
Paramahamsya ashrame.
Puna paramahasya
Vyavasthitanam anumrigyadashuse.
Vyavasthinanam anamrugyadashuse.
I again offer my respectful obedience unto the form of complete existence and transcendence, who is the liberator of the pious devotee from all distresses. and the destroyer of the further advances in artistic employment of the non-devotee demons. For the transcendentalists who are situated in the topmost spiritual perfection, he grants them specific destination.
So again, he is offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord. You are the complete form of existence and transcendence. Paramahamsya Ashrame. And that Supreme Lord, what he does, Sad Vrijina Chide. He is the liberator of the pious devotees. And he is the destroyer of all the demons. Asatam. Asatam means all the demons, all the non-devotees. They are destroyed by the Supreme Lord, and the devotees, they are liberated by the Supreme Lord. And for those who are Paramahamsya, those who are transcendentalists, he awards them their respective destination, specific destination. Vyavasthitanam Anumrigya Dashushe, one who delivers the specific destinations to all the transcendentalists. So transcendentalist means Gyanis, Yogis and Bhaktas. All these are transcendentalists. So the Gyanis, they get Brahman realization, Yogis, they get Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan, they get devotees, they get Bhagwan realization, they get devotion. So whatever destinations all these transcendentalists they desire for, Supreme Lord gives. So Bhuyo Namah Sadvrijin, who is a liberator of the pious devotees. Asatam Asambhava. Asambhava means who destroys the non-devotees. And Ayakhila Sattva Murtaya, he is the complete form of existence and transcendence. Akhila Sattva Murtaye. Sattva Murti means the form of transcendence. And therefore he awards specific destinations. So Prabhupada describes in the purport how Lord protects the devotees and destroys the demons. Prabhupada writes, the Lord Krishna is a complete form of all existence, both material and spiritual. Akhila means complete, or that which is not khila or inferior. So then Prabhupada describes that Lord has two types of energies. Bhagavad Gita, which verse says this? There are two types of energies, superior energy and inferior energy.
7.4 and 7.5.
What is that?
भूमिरपनलो वायु कम्मन बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इत्यमेव ब्रह्मणा प्रकृतिरष्टत अपरेयं इतस्तुवन्नं प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परं जीवभूत महाभावो येयेतं तारयते जगत्.
So these are the two kinds of prakritis. So material nature is apara prakriti, spiritual nature is para prakriti, but Lord is transcendental. He is never affected by this para and apara, although he is engaging in various types of activities, but namama karmani limpanti. There is no work which binds me in this world. Even if he is seen to kill people, even if he's seen to marry so many thousands of queens, but still he is not affected. Because why is not affected? Because he doesn't desire any results. We get affected by any activity because we desire results. Supreme Lord doesn't desire any results, so therefore he is not affected by any of the activities. Then Prabhupada writes, the devotees who are aware of his transcendental form render him service. And therefore, the Lord also reciprocates by his causeless mercy and thus delivers his devotees from all distress. Then Prabhupada writes in detail how people who follow the Vedas, they are dear to him, and those who are impious, they are not protected by the Lord. Okay. Then after some lines, Prabhupada writes, just like a kind father, either in his favor upon the devotees or his punishment on the demons, he is kind to everyone. So he is kind to even demons. It is not that he is kind only to devotees and not to demons. That is the mercy of the Lord to kill the demons. Just like it is described, if a murderer is not punished, then he will suffer for many, many lives. So it is a mercy of the king to punish the murderer and give him capital punishment. So that is the understanding. Then Prabhupada writes, the Paramahamsa stage of existence is the highest perfectional stage of spiritual values. Therefore, Kunti Maharani says, Lord can be understood only by Paramahamsas. Which verse? Kunti Maharani is praying.
Tatha Paramahamsa Muninam.
Okay, Tatha Paramahamsana. Those who are Paramahamsas, they can only realize Krishna. Nalakshase mood drisha nato natya dharota. Then Prabhupada describes there are various levels of Paramhamsas, Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajakacharya and Paramhamsa. They are all sannyas, different levels of sannyasis, and Paramhamsa is the highest. What is a Kutichak? Anybody knows what the meaning of all these Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajakacharya, Paramhamsa? Okay. Okay. So after one takes sannyas, he has not yet prepared for sannyas. He cannot just go in the forest and stay alone. So he lives in a kuti, just besides the house. घर के बाहर एक कुटिया बना के अलग से रहते हैं, उनको बोलते हैं कुटी चक्र. Then Bahudak, after some time, he leaves out of the village, still not so far. So that's how he is getting a little more courage to stay away from all the relatives and depending on the Lord. And when he is sufficiently, strong enough, then he starts traveling, spreading the message of the Lord. That is called as Parivrajakacharya. Ultimately, he becomes Paramhamsa, completely dependent on the Lord. So that's how Paramahamsa. Therefore, Bhagavatam is called as Paramahamsa Samhita. Srimad Bhagvatam Puranam Amalam Yat Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate Yatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyama Vishkritam Tashrinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchyen Naraha. This is one of the last verses of the Bhagavatam. This is, Yasmin Paramahamsya Ekam Amalam. This is a Paramahamsa Samhita. And therefore one should Shrinvan, Supathan, Vicharan Paro. Here, read properly and introspect, contemplate also. Khalis, bolte rahiye Prabhuji, hum sunenge. You have to introspect also. Vichar karna hai. Then Bhaktya Vimuchyen Naraha. Okay, so then Prabhupada quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There are two classes of Paramhamsas, Brahmanandis and Premanandis. Prabhupada is putting another very wonderful term. Premanandis. Premanandis are devotees. Brahmanandis and Premanandis. Premanandis are more fortunate than Brahmanandis. But both Brahmanandis and Premanandis are transcendentalists. They have nothing to do with inferior nature. Okay, next verse. Namo namaste astu Rishabhaya Satvatam.
Namo namaste astatva vrishabhaya sattvatam. Vidura kashtaya
Shayena radasa.
Namastanam
Swadhamani
Shayena
Brahmani
radasa
Ramsyate Namaha.
Swadhamani Brahmani Ramsyate Namaha.
Associate of the members of any street, and who is always a popular person. He is free enjoyer of both the material and yet he enjoys its own proposal. There is no one equal to him because his transcendental opulence is in the world.
Okay, so then he offers his respect to his worshipable deity. So first he